10 scenes where actors actually cried. Movies are meant to bring out emotions, from joy to despair. Film can take us on a roller coaster of a ride. Some of the best films in history can bring viewers to tears. Most any good movie you've seen that has someone that appears to be crying in it really is crying in it. Here are 10 scenes where actors actually cried. By the way, make sure to click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our engaging videos, and use that trigger finger by smashing the like button. Now, let's get into it. 10. Casablanca. Duel of the Anthems scene. Casablanca is widely remembered as one of the greatest films of all time. It's undeniable how iconic Casablanca remains. When you think of the film, the first thing that will come to your mind isn't "Here's looking at you, kid," or "We'll always have Paris," or the song "As Time Goes By," or any of the other often remembered parts. For most, it's always La Marseillaise, the dueling anthems between French refugees and their German occupants, singing Die Wacht à Rennes. People have never found a movie scene yet that can match it. Casablanca was filmed in the early 1940s. Most of the actors are refugees from Nazi-occupied Europe. The characters are at a bar in a Nazi-controlled French territory, singing the French national anthem defiantly at Nazi officers. Much of the emotional impact of the film has been attributed to the large proportion of European exiles and refugees who were extras or played minor roles, in addition to leading actors Paul Heinrend, Conrad Veidt, and Peter Lorre. A witness to the filming of the Duel of the Anthems sequence said he saw many of the actors crying and realized that they were all real refugees. 9. The Imitation Game ending. The Imitation Game centers on the real-life story of UK mathematician Alan Turing, who played a central role in cracking Germany's Enigma code while working at Bletchley Park in Buckinghamshire, England, during the Second World War. In 1952, Turing was charged with indecency for committing homosexual acts and was chemically castrated in lieu of prison time. Alan Turing committed suicide at the age of 41 in 1954. Benedict Cumberbatch later said in an interview that the pain that Alan Turing must have gone through was unimaginable when he was undergoing chemical castration for his homosexuality. The saddest moment of the film is when we see Alan all alone in emotional and physical trauma after continual treatment with nobody to care for him. It's depressing to see how the British government ended up treating him, after the number of lives he saved by cracking the German secret codes. 8. Kess caning scene. When you see tears, they're real tears, produced by the actor immersing himself or herself in the emotions of the character and the scene. They're not CGI, if that's what you mean. Sometimes directors might use what might be considered unethical means of getting tears from actors. A famous example is in Ken Loach's superb film Kess, in the caning scene. The young actors, or at least not all of them, weren't told that they were actually going to be caned. Watch the tears of the boy on the right at the end of the scene. Incidentally, while we're on the subject of tears, if you can watch the end of this film without shedding some tears, you're made of stronger stuff than most people. 7. Adam's Rib. Spencer Tracy breakdown scenes. One rather famous example was in the film Adam's Rib, in which Spencer Tracy plays a Manhattan DA married to Katharine Hepburn, a Manhattan criminal defense lawyer. In 2 scenes, Spencer Tracy's character breaks down in tears. This was something Tracy was actually able to do, cry on demand. It turns out that though the tears were real, the emotions weren't. Tracy's character explains that he, like the actor playing him, can cry on demand. And he was only trying to gain the emotional upper hand. She doesn't believe him, and so he proves it right then and there by crying on demand. So he cried, for real, twice in the same movie, and both times, in the context of the story, they were, though actual tears, crocodile ones. 6. Glory. Trip gets flogged scene. In Glory, 1989, there's an iconic scene where Denzel Washington's character was being flogged for desertion. That's real tears running down Denzel's face as the director, Edward Zwick, had instructed the actor whipping him to actually strike him and keep doing so until Denzel found it. This is the scene where most people would say he earned the Oscar he'd go on to win for that film. It's not sobbing or really even crying, it's just a solitary, defiant tear. But it's real. Despite his feeling about slave films, Mr. Washington said he is proud of the scene in which he is whipped after being caught leaving camp to search for a pair of shoes. Glory, like Cry Freedom and Mississippi Burning, has the potential to provoke criticism about the penchant for some filmmakers for concentrating on white protagonists in dramas in which the historical focus should be on blacks. 5. Dracula Mina Scene. Coppola and Keanu Reeves yelled at Winona Ryder to make her sob. During a key scene for her character Mina, during the making of Bram Stoker's Dracula in 1992, Ryder just couldn't get the tears to come. She faked it, but Coppola wasn't buying it, so he enlisted the help of her co-star Reeves. Not sure what Reeves said to him, but Coppola suddenly bellowed, "You whore, you fucking whore," at the actress. You, look at yourself." Her red gown was soaked in blood, so Coppola heaped on, "And your own husband's looking at you." When Ryder broke down for real and couldn't go any further, the director scooped her up in his arms. I'm sorry," he whispered. "I don't mean it." 4. The Man Without a Face, Megan Scene. In 1993, actress Gabby Hoffman was 11, and not yet the ball of sass that we see on Transparent and Girls. She had the unfortunate honor of being on the set of Mel Gibson's debut directorial film, The Man Without a Face. But after her experience, the film could rightly be called The Man Without Any Patience. Hoffman had already worked with some difficult directors, Gibson being among the roughest. "I think we can all agree that's going to be tough for anybody," he screamed at me. Oh God, he really screamed at me. He just started cursing and screaming at me. Hoffman told HuffPost Live. Why? I think I was acting like a kid instead of a professional actor. It happens once in a while when you're a kid actor. She hasn't seen Gibson since, but had a message for him. "I hope you're feeling better, Mel." 3. Apocalypse Now Hotel Scene. The famous hotel scene in Apocalypse Now is real. Sheen, drunk out of his mind, screams, cuts himself, and jabbers incoherently into the camera. Why? Because Coppola let the actor drink, didn't tell him what to do, and then began egging him on. Sheen ends up in a heap, cursing and wailing at Coppola and the crew. After cutting himself from punching a mirror, Coppola called for a doctor, but Sheen insisted that the camera keep rolling. He talks about the scene in the documentary Hearts of Darkness, a filmmaker's apocalypse, but he was wasted, so not exactly in the best frame of mind to know what was best. 2. The Exorcist Chris McNeil Scene. While on set, Ellen Bernstein suffered a permanent spinal injury during a stunt gone wrong while shooting a scene where Reagan throws her from the bed. That was her real scream of pain that was used in the film. In one scene of The Exorcist, actress Ellen Bernstein performs a stunt falling backwards onto the ground. This portrays her being struck by her character's possessed daughter. Director William Friedkin had the stunt technician yank Bernstein to the floor much more violently than is anticipated for a stunt of this kind. He violently assaulted her, one of the most respected actresses of the period, and deceived her, causing her to scream out in pain and fear, which was the effect the director wanted to capture on camera. 1. Skippy Crying Scene. During the filming of Skippy in 1931, Turog threatened to shoot Jackie Cooper's dog on the set of Skippy if he didn't cry on command. Cooper, only 9 at the time, complied but never quite got over it and named his autobiography, Please Don't Shoot My Dog. Ironically, Turog was also Cooper's uncle. Jackie burst into tears and Turog got his scene. After it was over, the security guard brought the dog back and Turog gave Jackie some ice cream again for his realistic acting job. This was the second crying scene, and it was just as hard for Jackie as the first. Hollywood was pretty horrid from the outset, Cooper recalled. My uncle threatened to kill my dog, for Christ's sake. Hollywood was, and I'm pretty sure still is, no place for the faint-hearted, Cooper wrote. Which among these scenes is familiar to you? Let us know in the comment section below. And hey, if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe our channel so we continue giving you the best contents. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.